Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Red Dirt Rodz. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can see all the progress of our sweet little Honda Helix that we call the Harlix. So right now we are working on a filler panel for the front seat so that it looks good and you don't have exposed frame tubing, and we're also going to be mounting our fairing to the front handlebars so that the light turns when we turn the handlebars. It's going to be really cool. It's a really simple project, but it's kind of neat, and it's really going to finish off the visual transformation of the Harlix. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can learn how to do this for your project. Alright, so we've got two strips of metal. They are 1 inch and 9/16 wide. And these are, we're going to bend these in half and make a little L channel for our under seat area for the front. And so we want 3/4 on the bottom side. So we're just going to carefully mark right here. Now I'm marking so that this edge, the edge over here by the arrow, that is our 3/4 mark. Then we're going to take this over here, and Ben is going to break this on our brake. It's a nice little 90. And then we're going to use our shrinker and stretcher to shape this to match. So we've got a piece of this angle that we made. I'm just going to start out here. We're just going to pull this about to this bolt location on the inside. And I'm just going to start marking areas that I know we're going to have to do some significant shrinking. And I'm going to start shrinking this all the way around. I'm just going to push down a little bit. It doesn't take very much to get this started, and how much of it you put in the jaws changes how much you shrink. I know that I'm going to have to get significant here. So we've got a little bit of a dog leg there. Come over here. That's real close. So I'm going to stop working it here, and I'm going to start working it here to bring it around. We are going to have to remove this. But now we start curving along the front. Oh, that's real dang close. That's about perfect. Okay, so now we'll take our Sharpie and cut this, mark this, and cut it back. Okay, so let's see. Oh, that's perfect. That's just about perfect. All right. And then we can trim this up to have a nice rounded transition. Now, this is the hard one. So this one, sit like this. So this one has to stretch to wrap all the way up, wrap, and then it'll curve and it'll come back down. So to start that one, set this, I'll pull this back a little bit. And that is, this is 0, and this needs to stretch. Now that will go to about here, is my guess. Stretching is a little trickier because you can tear the metal. So pop this in here and let's see what I can start doing. Close. A little close. Let's see what we can do. That's about right. I feel like I can work with that. Now I need to shrink here and shrink here. So we're gonna, it's starting to go like that, so I gotta shrink it here. So now I can start fine-tuning it. All right, so now I can tack it here and here, and then I can weld some supports here and here so that I can hammer and dolly this edge a little bit and get it rolled the way I want. And we'll make a nice cupped roll here, finish that off with some sheet metal. Now I can take a little hammer. I'm just gonna, particularly on this top edge, I'm just gonna roll this down a little bit. I just need to make a, let's get a piece of sheet metal. And I can dome this, roll it right across. Should work pretty good. I'm just gonna use my Woodward Fab Stomp shear. Should be able to roll this, just tack and roll this all the way up. Just rough shape, that should work pretty good. Rough this out real quick. So for this, I'm going to use a set of tipping dies for my Eastwood bead roller here. And first, I just got to pull these old ones off. Okay, so got my compass here. I know where I need to be. I need to break this edge right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come here. Follow this. Okay, so now I can come along here with this tipping die, and I'll run this at an angle, and it'll help me get a nice crisp edge. Like that. Now yeah, I've got a few little areas that I'll have to shrink. So now I'm going to use the shrinker to help pull this curve in where I want it. I'm just going to start right in the center. I'm going right up to the edge that we just used the tipping die on. The rest of this I think I'll need to hand form because I'll have to, I gotta straighten this out. So our fairing mounts are really simple. We just took a piece of 1-inch square tubing. We put it in our jig and cut this with a hole saw. And then we put a nut in here for a 1/4-20 bolt and welded it and sanded it down. So the 1/4-20 bolt just threads in just like that. And that comes right in here and threads in to the fairing. Now, once we get this welded to the handlebars, we're going to put a bar here to tie this in, and we'll also add some gussets here and here to the handlebars themselves, and that will tie this in, square it up, make it nice and stout. And additionally, that bar right there will give us a mount for speedometer, fuel gauge, any electronics that we want to add behind the fairing. So these just come in here. We've already got them marked where they go, right like that. And we'll get the placement adjusted, you know, because you can move it around a little bit. We'll get the placement adjusted for up front and tack these in. Okay, so I'm just rough eyeballing this. I'm going to cut this at an angle here and here. Then this will sit down about here, and that'll give us mounts for all of our gauges. Oh, I can work with that. Looking good. So this should be nice and stout. I'm gonna add a gusset here and here, probably on the bottom side. We'll add a gusset on each one. But to do that, we need to pull this off. Ah, it's warm. Got a piece of 1/8" plate, and I've got our shear here. This will shear up to 1/4 inch. Oh yeah, that's solid. Take this. This is going to get wrapped with a little bit of closed cell foam and some black vinyl that will match the seat. That way this will look like a complete seat how it's supposed to. And we're going to make a different bracket for the back of the seat so it fits a little bit better in the seated position. I love that. That is awesome. Let's make magic.